Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show, and it is time for the deep dive, and it's very, very exciting at the moment in the current game. Goals are back, so I wanted to have a focus today. Tex Walker's flying, Josh Bruce, who we just spoke to, is flying, so I wanted to go back in time and look at surprise bags. So surprise bags, and the biggest surprise of all was Shane Allen. He kicked 3 career goals, and Malcolm Blight put him at full forward in 1997 for the grand final, and he's kicked 5. So let's take a look at Shane Allen on fire. This was unbelievable. They only had a handful of goal kickers on this day. Shane Allen's kicked 5 of them. Jarman was on fire. Shane Bond was on fire. And obviously the Adelaide Crows went on and won this famous grand final under Malcolm Blight. But only Blakey could pull off something like this.
How could he think
3
of that?
career goals and he's kicked 5 on grand final day, Bill.
Unbelievable, that, Tone.
I want to talk about a skinny little kid back in 1982. This was actually a final. This was actually a final in 1982. And there he is there, an 18-year-old by the name of Dermot Breton. And now, what was he wearing? Number 47, I think he had at the time. And he went on to kick 5 goals in his debut. Who would have thought then that he would go on to be one of not only the greatest footballers ever to pull on a jumper, but also one of the most charismatic both on and off the field. And I'll put it on the record, still one of the nicest people I've ever met in football.
Always says g'day to you.
He does. He treats everyone the same.
Do you know how that actually happened, that he debuted in a...
Yeah, I was actually at the game, Lorde, believe it or not, as a North supporter. I was. And it was a late inclusion, as I think it came out. And then he, as we know, then played the first of his 5 premierships the very next year, and as a key member of it.
But how did it come about was the question.
Well, it was a late inclusion, Bill. He wasn't part of the discussion in the lead-up to it.
No, we know he played
But you said you knew
You
why.
said you knew. Met him in the lane at New York.
You've done a lot
when
of
you're
things,
over there.
It was a late inclusion.
You're in Noosa as well.
Yeah,
Well done, Damo. OK, Scotty Cummings on debut back in 1994. He was a journeyman, Scotty Cummings, but have a look at how the long sleeve is here. And Scotty Cummings kicked 8 this day against the Sydney Swans. And you just don't see youngsters come in these days and have big bags, 6, 7, 8. But Scotty Cummings on this day kicked a massive bag of 8.
I was saying the next John Coleman after that game, Bree. But... he was a good player, Scotty, but never got to John Coleman.
Jeez. Give him a whack, why
Good player. He was called a journeyman by you. I'm just saying, great player, Scotty, but...
No, I'll cut. 1988 grand final, Hawthorn take on Melbourne. So we're thinking, how many goals will Dunstall or Dermot Brereton kick? And it was this man, Paul Abbott, believe it or not. Paul Abbott. There he is there. He was a ruckman forward. He went back and kicked 6 in this game. Paul Abbott, that's right. That is him there, played a good game. And they went on to win this game by about 96 points, I think it was. But there he is there, Pumpkinhead's brother. And that's Paul. To
How many
Green.
goals? Bill, he hadn't kicked many going into this game either.
No, spot on. He kicked just 22 goals before this game and kicked 6 in a grand final. Well done to you, Paul.
Were you there, Damo?
I actually was at that game. I actually was.
2018, Ben Ronk, speaking about surprise bags, he kicked 7 in his 3rd ever game. And I'm watching this game and I'm thinking, who is this next superstar of the competition? So this is game number 3. He's absolutely torn Hawthorn apart on the MCG on the biggest stage. You go, wow, who is this next star? But that was game number 3. He's only played 31 more games. Still on the list.
Still on the list.
But struggling to get a game. Only played 3 games last year, didn't kick a goal. So maybe a one-hit wonder as well.
He got a bit wonky, hasn't he?
The name Simon Beaumont, Lorde, is not one year we associate with goals traditionally, but he kicked 8.5. Way back. 8.5 against Collingwood.
8.5 goals.
8 goals. He kicked 4 goals in the first quarter, Brownie, and then 4 more in the second, and that makes 8. And he didn't get another one after that, but played mainly as a defender.
Proud.
So he kicked 8 goals and a half.
Beautiful
They
kick.
call him the Pieman.
Yeah, Beaumont's Pies.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Damo. I'll never forget that night. I don't know if he kicked any after half time.
Not after half time, and played most of his career as a backman.
Unbelievable. And
they beat the Pies too with Beaumont.
And I want to finish with one which was also a famous one. We know how good Andrew McLeod was as a half-back flanker. The 1998 Cane preliminary final against the Western Bulldogs. I didn't realise this till our great man upstairs, Luke Jackson, reminded me of this one. But Andrew McLeod kicked 7 goals in the 1998 preliminary final, Brownie, to break the hearts of the Western Bulldogs.
Well, we tagged him that day.
You tagged
him. Libba got sent from the centre to half forward to tag him, as you see Libba right there. But just unbelievable. Yeah. He did it 2 years in a row to us, did it in the grand final. There was no better at half-back. He is the best half-back flanker that's ever played the game.
What were you doing then?
So, Lorde,
What were you doing?
I was up the other end.
Not
just trying to
much.
scrounge around a couple of
And
kicks.
then Jarman kicked, what, 6th of the week after?
Yeah, so we talk about great finals performers, and recency bias says Dustin Martin, but McLeod's record in finals, and people forget about this because of the 2 Norm Smith medals, is up there with anyone else.
Prelims
Now,
were just as good.
It's Martin 1, you would have to say, but McLeod
Do you
2.
think he'll become a legend in the AFL Hall of Fame? Was he that good, do you think, to get to that level? Is he knocking on the door of it?
He would be, yeah. His record is unbelievable.
Yep. So there are the surprise bags,
Well done.
TJ, for the week.
Good, Lorde.
Another good one, Lorde, no doubt about that. That's why it is the most popular segment on the Sunday Footy Show.